Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to folks around the world joining us. Thank you very much for making time and joining us on our fourth webinar now for the Pro Football Hall of Fame Village, which we're very excited to talk to you about today. My name is Sherman Baldwin. I'm the CEO of LCR Capital Partners. And today you're going to hear from a few people on our team. We're very excited about the team that has come together to support this terrific project. I'll be turning it over to Mike Crawford, the CEO of Hall of Fame Village. Mike is an amazing senior executive, has spent a 20-plus year career at Disney, launched Disney Tokyo, Disney Shanghai, then was the president of Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, and is exactly the right senior executive to be leading this effort. We're incredibly pleased to be partnering with Mike and his team. Carol Smith from IRG, Senior Vice President and Director of Development Services for IRG, is our development partner. And IRG has been just a great partner to work with. They have an amazing track record in EB5, which you'll hear more about from Carol. And then my colleague, Rogelio Caceres, our Chief Commercial Officer at LCR, will wrap up the presentation with a few notes. We also have a special guest with us today, which is very exciting, Anthony Munoz, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Here's a little bit about Anthony, and you'll hear a few words from him during our presentation. He was one of the best offensive linemen, best football players, frankly, ever to play the game. So we're thrilled to have Anthony joining us. A little bit about our firm, just very briefly. LCR is a private investment advisory services firm that supports families interested in U.S. immigration. We have 6 offices worldwide, now over 850 high net worth clients. We've served over 30 countries. Our clients come from all around the world. We've raised approximately $200 million of EB5 capital, and 99% of that was raised outside of China. Which is unique to our firm and makes us a market leader in the industry. Before I turn it over to Mike, just very briefly, this marketing brochure does not constitute an offer to sell securities. Any such offer will be made only pursuant to the definitive offering documents and only to such persons and in such jurisdictions as is permitted under applicable law. Investment in the project involves various risks, as described in the offering. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mike, and if all the panelists could go on mute, that would be great. Mike, take it away.
Thank you very much, Sherman, and great to be here with all of you this morning. I joined the company about 18 months ago, and as I joined, I was really excited about the opportunity given the success that we were already having as an operating entity, and also the vision for the company, what it could become, and the IP, of course, that we had to use in developing the company moving forward. If you take a look at what we've been doing over the last several months, we've really put a strong foundation in place with a team that I think has the ability to not only drive great results, but have a vision towards where this company can go, both in terms of the development here in Canton, Ohio, but future business growth opportunities as well. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. We are in Canton, Ohio, and Canton is a underserved market. I think there is great potential. I'm originally from Ohio. For a market like Canton, Ohio, the birthplace of football, to serve those guests who want to come and be immersed in an environment of not only professional sports and football, but excellence and inspiration as well. And we've recently had an opportunity over, I would say, the last 6 to 8 months to evaluate an opportunity to go public with a company called Gordon Point Acquisition Corp. And Gordon Point is a publicly traded SPAC today. They approached us several months ago. They really liked and were interested in our business plan and what we had to offer in terms of a great foundation of intellectual property and new build opportunity. And so they offered the opportunity to merge with us and for us to become the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, which we're extremely excited about. And we're now targeting the public launch sometime late June to July of the company. We were impacted by COVID-19, as was the rest of the world. We had a 2 to 3 month window where we've put things on hold. We've recalibrated the timing of construction and sort of the financing efforts that we had undertaken. We wanted to make sure we fully understood the impact of this and how we needed to think about and conceive the company's structure moving forward. And I think we've done that very well, and we're prepared to now emerge from that as the pandemic starts to calm down a little bit, I guess, and as the state's starting to loosen up their regulations. People are really starved for this type of entertainment and sports in general, and so we're excited about an opportunity to move away from the pause that we had put on the business and really get things going. We are an entertainment company. We do have a media side of the company as well. We produce great content, both live content and then content that we use intellectual property from our Hall of Fame and from some of the live sporting events that we host. The video I'm about to show you is content that we have produced and content that we have shown in the context of events we hold here in Canton at the Hall of Fame and at the Hall of Fame Village. And so our production team put this video together, and I think it just represents all of the great things that we do and the sport and the events that we host here.
This is the birthplace of pro football. From Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. So tell me, do you want to go where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night? Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. Colossal we come, these renegades in the ring, where the lost get found and the crown of the circus king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding, outshining anything that you know. Just surrender, 'cause you're coming and you wanna go where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, intoxicating you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. It's everything you ever want, it's everything you ever need, and it's here right in front of you. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
So as you can see, that's really such a wonderful video. It sort of encapsulates some of the great things that we do. We kick off the NFL football season here with the first preseason game. We certainly enshrine our new class of Hall of Famers every year. But well beyond that, we have a lot of really great programming, festivals, concerts, sport, and other non-sport events. And we think programming is really key for us long-term to continue to drive that repeat visitation and give something for guests to enjoy and look forward to over and over again. I spoke about the merger opportunity. Jim Dolan is the CEO of Gordon Point. Gordon Point, as I said, is a publicly traded fund, and it's not an operating company as we are. So as we merge, the new company will be based here in Canton, Ohio. I'll remain CEO of the company and it will be referred to as the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. But again, a great opportunity for us to gain quick access to capital and credibility. The company will be traded publicly on the NASDAQ. As we move forward, the team that I spoke about earlier, and I'm really incredibly proud of the group we're putting together. We have some professionals that were born and raised in Ohio that have come back, like myself, Ed Kiernan and Graphis, that have had great experience in marketing and sponsorship and finance. We also have great professionals like Jason Crom, our CFO, who has had public company experience, along with myself, so that as we take the company public, I feel very comfortable and confident that this team, along with many others that we've assembled, has the right vision and the right ability to lead and grow revenue and EBITDA, and also the vision for the company in terms of how we will extend the use of our brand beyond just a destination in Canton, Ohio. Not only do we have a great team, I've had the honor and the privilege of working with many of these individuals on our board, and I think we've assembled really a world-class board. From Stu Lichter, who is our master developer and the CEO and owner, president, chairman of IRG, our development partner here, who has done this type of work all over the country, to local Ed Roth, who is the president and CEO of Altman Healthcare, which we have a great partnership. We have other members of our board who have launched these location-based assets, like Kimberly Schaefer, who was the CEO of Great Wolf Lodge, Water Park Hotel combination that also went public. Michael Klein, who's our investment banking partner. Curtis Martin, who is a world-class running back, Hall of Famer. Anthony Buzzelli, former vice chairman of Deloitte and Touche. So some great financial acumen on the board. And then Mary Owen and Carl Holtz, who both bring great connections to the NFL and the leisure tourism business industry. I worked with Carl for many, many years at Disney, and he now serves as a consultant for McKinsey. And I think this is a board that has the ability to really help drive success for us as a company. I talked a little bit about my background before. I spent almost 25 years with Disney, 4 years with Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts. So I have created, designed, built, and operated retail dining, entertainment districts, hotels, leisure tourism developments like theme parks all around the world, and have had the privilege of working with some very big brands and leveraging those brands in ways to grow companies that were really unthought of as I entered into the picture with those companies many years ago. When we think about, just moving on here, the power of professional football and what that really looks like from the NFL's perspective, we're talking about the most profitable sports league, bar none, in the world today. We're also talking about a fan base of over 185 million fans and growing. Last year, 46 out of the top 50 viewed television programs in the US were professional football games. And even though, we have had this awful pandemic hit us, the NFL draft being done virtually this year versus live and in person was the most popular thing viewed, bar none, on television. And it gave people real hope that professional football was going to be coming back and going to be coming back strong. It gives us a great platform, though, to work off of with the NFL brand, with the Pro Football Hall of Fame and our Hall of Famers. We think there is a company that is already operating here and will continue to grow based on these themed themed destinations. We have in Canton, Ohio already a destination here doing almost 1 million visitors a year. And as I spoke about media and other entertainment opportunities to build off of and tell the stories and immerse people in these stories through different verticals. And so from my perspective, this company is well positioned with live entertainment and great partnerships and youth sports programming and original content to grow in ways that other companies have not had the ability to do. Canton is uniquely positioned. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the sort of Northeast Midwest. It's an underserved part of the country. Millions of people, tens of millions of people within a 5-hour drive radius. And we think, for this type of destination, 5 hours is about the drive radius that you can attract people from in terms of getting here for a long weekend or a 2 or 3 day stay. But not only that, we do have great infrastructure from a regional airport perspective and also from a roadway perspective as well. And that airport serves many of the major NFL franchise cities with direct flights to and from Canton, Ohio. There are a few other examples of parks, theme park type destinations in and around Ohio. One of them is Cedar Point, owned by Cedar Fair. This is a location that does almost $5 million a year in visitation out of 7 months of operation. And so they don't operate all year round. They are more of an iron ride, roller coaster type of park, whereas we will have the ability to operate with a brand and the power of professional football year round. And so it gives me great comfort that we can drive visitation into this market. NFL fans spend a lot of money as well. When you look at the franchises that are surrounding Canton, Ohio, almost half of the NFL franchises are within an 8-hour drive radius. And these fans are spending billions of dollars on their teams. And yet, you know, another interesting statistic, only 7% of fans in their entire life will ever get to see a professional football game in a professional football stadium. So when you look at an underserved market and you look at the popularity of the sport and how much these fans love to spend on their teams, thinking about a destination for them to come and be immersed in and be inspired by with other like-minded fans really does set up a great recipe for success. We are already an operating company, as I spoke about earlier. We do almost 1 million visitors a year. Our Pro Football Hall of Fame has been in operation well over 50 years. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium runs great events. We have a youth sports program that I think is not only a pillar for growth, but one that really will help develop the next generation of great athletes. And then, of course, our Hall of Famers come back on an annual basis and do many things, business conferences, academies, sports academies. And so they help drive visitation to the destination. Already in phase one, we've built $250 million worth of assets that are driving a lot of great programming. And programming, to me, as I said, really is something that gives guests a chance to come back and be entertained over and over again. You have to have world-class assets, and that's our intention, and we already have those in the ground, and we'll continue to build more. But as you see here, we have a really great track record of building off of a strong foundation of NFL football game, concert, and then continuing to add on those year over year and adding diversity into our entertainment programming as well. And we've now hired and partnered with a company called ASM to continue to develop great festivals, shows, business programming, wedding business even, and then other sport and non-sport events alike. So this is something that I think will drive great revenue and repeat visitation and increase length of stay to our destination over the next many years to come. Sports, and particularly youth sports, is a multi-billion-dollar business. We bring almost 300,000 youth league participants to our campus today. It is a profitable business for us already. These are family members, community members, but it's not just football, it's lacrosse, soccer, rugby, and even other non-traditional sports being played on our world-class fields, and then with the championship games being played in our Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, which is, by the way, an NFL certified stadium. We run regional tournaments all over the country as well for these types of sports. And then we like to bring them here and really give them the opportunity to be trained and coached by not only our Hall of Famers, but other world-class athletes as well. And so we think this is a business that has great potential for growing well beyond where it's at today for us, but it also provides us great content for our media company as well. And so high school football championships, college bowl games, youth football championships, other championship games, all great content for media, our media division to develop and distribute through many channels that need that type of content distribution. When I joined, one of the things that was very impressive to me was the list of partners and sponsors that were already in place. And we've added to those since I've been here. But, you know, Johnson Controls, a multi-year deal, over $100 million just for that single deal. Constellation Energy, First Data, Pfizer, Zenith, PepsiCo. All of these sponsors have added great value to the return of our company, and also have given us the chance to attract and talk to other guests that are their customers or their clients. Most recently, though, we've added a partnership with the NFL Alumni Academy, which again, I couldn't be more pleased with. They are going to be hosting an academy here every single year. Their regional or their corporate headquarters will be here as well. And this academy will train the next generation of NFL prospective players. The top undrafted free agents will come here every year, train, and it will act as sort of the personnel committee, if you will, for the Professional Football League of the NFL. It will provide us great media content. It is a partnership that I think is very strategically aligned with our vision of growing great content and providing access to football and sport in a very inspired way. These young men inspired to get better and better to go on to the NFL, I think will be a great story for us and great for our guests coming here to be a part of and partake in. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is very unique in many ways. Obviously, it houses our 360 plus Hall of Famers. But just as important to that, it also is the home to an archive that is very special and unique of 50 plus million pieces of video, audio, imagery that we can use in the creation of that media content that I talked about, telling the stories of the teams and the players that made the game as great as it is today, and continue to offer an ability to develop that content that can be distributed through any number of channels that are just highly demanding great sport content in the world today. It can be through feature film, primetime television, family shows, but direct to consumer, as you've seen during this pandemic, is just growing leaps and bounds. And we receive calls, and we're speaking with many production companies and development companies for access to our content for them and for us to develop and distribute to consumers in ways that will be very profitable for our company. Beyond what I've just described, though, I get excited about the future growth of the company and the way in which fans engage with sports, and particularly the game of football, is continuing to evolve. Not only do people play and watch in the traditional manner, but they also engage in fantasy sports. E-gaming, of course, is just growing leaps and bounds. Both of these are multi-billion-dollar businesses. Destination-based entertainment assets, think Pro Football Hall of Fame, restaurant and bars, and every NFL major franchise city. I talked about expanding our youth programming, running academies, developing young men and women to become the next generation of great athlete in whatever sport that they choose to partake in. And then sports betting. And sports betting is something that has become very mainstream now. DraftKings just launched their IPO, even without a lot of sports to bet on. They're very successful. And so we think with the power of our brands and the access to great content, we can develop in these verticals a business that will grow well beyond what we're imagining today. And so we have an eye towards the future here with growth. But really what we're talking about with you is the growth of the village. And as you can see here, I talked about those 250 million of assets in that dark purple color that are here today and already operating with that 1 million of visitation. But phase two is really the next round of build. And we're getting ready to build $300 million worth of new assets, a new hotel, a water park, some great retail dining and other forms of entertainment. We'll build a center for excellence that is a research incubation lab, office complex, and then a center for performance that will also house that NFL Alumni Academy. We have a phase three already on the books. So this is a master plan that continues to grow and have flexibility to react to guest demand and trends. But we really think we've developed a very pragmatic build that minimizes risk and allows our guests to come and enjoy new assets as they get added to the portfolio here. Here's our Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. And as you can see, this is just a world-class facility. Not only does it have the ability to host football games, but other sports and non-sport events as well. And we've built this with meeting rooms and VIP spaces so that we already have started non-traditional business, sport business in this stadium. And it's becoming more and more profitable for us. But again, a facility, a multi-use facility that is world-class here in Canton, Ohio, already built and in operation. As I said, we run concerts and festivals and other major events. And of course, it is home to our enshrinement every year for our new class of Hall of Fame inductees. Our Hall of Fame Village football and youth sports complex, again, over 300,000 participants and viewers here every year, and that number is growing. We will continue to add more fields to this facility, and we'll also create indoor facilities as well in that Center for Performance. You can just see some of the images of kids being trained by our Hall of Famers, participating in the sports that they're here to play in. And again, that traditional football, non-traditional lacrosse, and academies, all being run very successfully by a team here that continues to grow and be profitable for us. This is what the campus looks like today. So you can sort of see to the south of this image, the migration of assets with the Hall of Fame, the stadium, and the youth complex. We have acquired all of the land for phases 2 and 3 that we need. And then this is the master plan as it's conceived and as I just showed you. And so you see how we sort of develop that nucleus around the Hall of Fame and continue to sort of build outward with all of the assets that I'll show you now. Before I do that, just an image of what the campus will be. You can see it's a very beautiful campus, lush. We do have a lot of assets sort of embedded, and a place that you can come and visit for art festivals. You can be immersed into the football, a football game or sport, concerts, or you can just come and enjoy the other forms of entertainment and dining that we'll have here on the campus as well. Here's a view from our retail dining district, looking at our water park and our new Tapestry Hilton Hotel that will be built. We did do a deal with the Hilton for 2 hotels. This is the on-site hotel, 180 rooms, and the water park we think is just going to be such a smash hit. Nothing like it in this part of Ohio. Indoor, so it mitigates all the weather and it allows those kids and families and others coming to the destination a great form of entertainment year-round. Another view of the hotel itself, a nighttime image. And you can see it's just a beautiful sort of picturesque entry there in being immersed into an environment as you arrive and become a hotel guest. This is looking from the hotel back towards the stadium, and you can see very accessible retail dining and other forms of virtual reality, augmented reality entertainment in this complex as well. We're bringing in great new partners that don't exist in a very significant amount of radius from Canton, Ohio, and potentially some Hall of Famers that will have concepts here as well to help with the entertainment and food and beverage offering. This is that Center for Excellence. It's positioned in the west end zone of the stadium, and that video while you're looking at is actual size. It becomes the scoreboard. It also becomes a way in which we can increase the viewership of any number of events and concerts, and we can host events with that type of video capability here. So we're excited about that. This is that incubation lab where we're looking at player care, player development, equipment development, things that will really enhance not only the sport of football, but enhance the physical and mental and nutritional capabilities of athletes and others that are playing in sport all around the world. The Center for Performance, I talked about the NFL Alumni Association hosting their academy here. What this also does, though, is it gives us an indoor facility that we can run now indoor sports year-round as well. So basketball and wrestling, you can have band competitions, cheerleading competitions. And this is also a dual-purpose facility that becomes an expo center and a convention space, so you can host auto shows, beer and wine festivals, home and garden shows. So really enhances the ability to offer unique, different business type of travelers, convention type travelers, along with diversifying sport to become year-round as well. And then a nighttime image of the destination. And we really think, especially in Northeast Ohio, but throughout this region, this is going to be a premier destination with great new attractions and service, immersing you into an environment that is really going to be a phenomenal place to be inspired through excellence in everything that we do. So we're really excited about this. Let me now take the opportunity. We talked about Sherman did, one of the great Hall of Famers of all time, played for the Cincinnati Bengals. So he has an affinity for Ohio. He has been such a huge supporter of ours, a good friend of ours, such an eloquent gentleman as well. And I'm honored to call him a friend. And Anthony Munoz. Anthony, welcome. And Anthony, appreciate the time you've given us and just your thoughts on the Village and how, from a Hall of Famer perspective, you've been inspired by this.
Well, thank you, Michael. Good morning to everyone on. Good morning and welcome on board to see this phenomenal project that's taken place. And first of all, I have to say, as a Gold Jacket, it's someone that's been a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame for 22 years, that I'm excited. I'm overly excited, first of all, for Mike Crawford and his team and this plan that's put in place to see what's happening, to see what's happened so far and what's going to happen as this thing moves along, this whole project. So my excitement is, like I said, 22 years to be able to see this coming together is very exciting. So I'm excited that you're on board and listening to this plan. Hopefully, we'll become team members, just like Mike and his team and all my fellow Hall of Famers who are teammates. Hopefully, those of you on today, I'll be able to meet some of you in person. But also, being able to build something where we can honor the guys that built this game. I know for myself, I'm becoming one of the older guys, but I'm very thankful for those guys that I can, stand on their shoulders because they built this game and made it possible for me to play. So to be able to build, have a project of, this great facility to honor the guys that have played the game, but not only honor the guys, but to also for people, thousands and thousands of people to come there and to really learn about the best things about the game. I mean, we can learn about blocking and tackling and throwing the football and catching, but when you learn about sportsmanship and teamwork and character and all the great character traits that all the Hall of Famers that exhibited in order to get to the point where we can all wear a Gold Jacket. That's what excites me, of being able to get not only the young people, but the business people being able to come there and to this conference, the Center of Excellence, or for corporate, or all the fields we have for the young people and hundreds and thousands of young people that will be there. And sure, learning about sports, but also learning, like I said, the character traits that really make you who you are. As a youth, you might be involved in sports. You might not be an NFL football player, but might not be a individual that wears a Gold Jacket, but to be the best person you can be. And that's what I love about this whole facility that's going to be, finished here in Canton, Ohio. We're pro football, where football was started. So I'm just thankful to be able to share a couple words with you this morning. The excitement that I have as someone that lives in Ohio now, that's been a resident of Ohio. I am on the lower end of the state, down in Cincinnati, but for 40 years now. So I love Ohio. I love Canton, Ohio. And I love what's going on with this project. So Mike, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the team enough, and all of you for taking the time this morning to really learn more about the Hall of Fame Village and what's going to happen there. So again, like I said, hopefully down the road, from what you're learning now, you become a teammate, and instead of here with technology, I can shake your hand in person and say, I'm thrilled to be your teammate. So again, thank you for having me this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. And I just want to say just two quick things. First of all, I should have said this up front. There really is nothing like this for any other major football or major sport Hall of Fame, right? We're building something very unique and different. But I think we're building it because of Gold Jackets like you, Anthony, and the inspiration that you bring to all of us, and the enthusiasm that you brought to helping us think about creating this type of destination. Not only you, all of our Hall of Famers are so active and involved that it really has inspired this kind of thinking, that there is a business here to honor you and to allow you the platforms to be a part of this. So thank you so much for that.
Well, I appreciate it. And I can say that the enthusiasm is contagious from my, fellow Gold Jackets and from individuals like you that that have that vision, have that passion to come in and become teammates and do something like this. So thank you for those kind words and appreciate our partnership.
Yeah, as do we. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.
So I think now we're going to turn this over to, if I'm not mistaken here, to Carol Smith.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today and to share a little bit about IRG and who we are. Little technical difficulty here. There we go. So a little bit about who we are. We are one of the largest privately held real estate development and investment companies in the country today. We have been nationally recognized as a leader in adaptive reuse. But we've purchased large military bases, automotive facilities, industrial facilities, and pharmaceutical facilities, and many more. But it's more than just the asset. It's about creating value-added solutions for our tenants, our owners, and our investors. It's about leaving communities better than how we found them, and it's about creating and retaining jobs. Now I'd like to share just a little bit of a video that we have that will showcase some of our leadership at IRG, as well as some of our partner tenants and some of our EB5 projects.
IRG is a full-service real estate company. We have purchased major corporate sites from some of the largest companies in the world. We have over 2,000 tenants in our portfolio, not just the big ones, but also a lot of small tenants, a lot of startups.
We like to find properties that we can rebuild and reuse, and through doing something, you're actually helping people and giving back to communities.
Because our business model helps create really practical, functional space at a lower cost. Many facilities that we acquire, thousands of jobs have lost, and it's really terrific that we have a track record of bringing back a significant portion of those jobs that were lost, and in some cases, a lot more.
We are, by many standards, I guess, a startup. And the folks at IRG, I think, being as experienced as they are, as capable as they are, understood that. Hiring these people, working with them every day, seeing their excitement, their enthusiasm, their interest in what we're doing and what they can do to help has been wonderful.
You need to pull in experts like this that have a vision that we didn't even come close to on what the possibilities for the site could be.
The help of IRG, the design team, and all the players in it, we were able to create a campus that creates energy and a synergy that allows everybody to feel like they're part of the team and growing in the right direction.
You saw both Stu Lichter, our president and chairman of the board, and John Mace, our chief executive officer. They both resided from the East Coast, but now both live on the West Coast. And between them, they have over 40 years of combined real estate experience, handling real estate transactions in the billions. And they've both been featured on multiple media outlets. Now let's talk a little bit, though, about our success with the EB5 program. So from this slide, you can see the big stats here. I'm so proud to be a part of this company and using this program with such success. $353 million raised since 2008 across 10 projects, with $246 million being repaid. So there's been multiple projects, but I think the next slide will show you a little bit about those 10 projects. But what you can't see from this slide is a little bit about the successes of these projects. McClellan, who was our first project that we had with EB5, was a former Air Force base. It has 8.5 million square feet of property on 3,000 acres in Sacramento, California, now home to 230 companies with employment for 15,000. The Promenade at Downey, former Downey Studios and NASA manufacturing site, is now a 450,000 square foot promenade style shopping center. Then Rubber City. This one I've had the pleasure to work on personally since day one when we purchased the property actually in 2009 and created a vision for this campus where we built Goodyear, their new world headquarters in Akron, Ohio, 642,000 square foot global headquarter building, which now allows us to retain over 3,000 jobs in Akron, Ohio. And then our Project 10, which is ADC American Football and Goodyear project, second phase of it. So I can tell you too that I've been able to work on both of these projects since day one. As it relates to the Goodyear project, we've now created over 1,100 additional jobs there, 105 residential units, and some retail, and really created a live, work, play destination. But the project we're talking about today is Johnson Controls Hall of Fame Village. There's, as Mike mentioned, over $250 million in assets already constructed, with approximately $100 million used in EB5 funds. I can tell you that as we did the first part of the design and vision of this project all the way back in 2015 and 2016, I had the pleasure of traveling for the EB5 program to China to help raise that $100 million. And one day I hope to be able to travel to visit your beautiful cities and countries, or better yet, host you here in Canton, Ohio at Johnson Controls Hall of Fame Village. Our projections, though, for this project show over $10 billion in economic benefit to Ohio and over 10,000 jobs being created. So we are very excited about this next phase and the opportunities here at Johnson Controls Hall of Fame Village. Obviously here you can see the LCR team, a great partner of ours here on this next phase, as well as Stu Lichter, our chairman and president. And I will tell you that this is a legacy project for IRG. It is a place where everyone will be able to come, whether it's kids, parents, businesses, and we are very excited about this. And we hope to have you guys as our partner, where we can continue to add value to investors such as yourselves. And now to tell you a little bit more about the EB5 program and the opportunities that lie with this project, I turn it over to LCR and to Rogelio, our partner.
Thank you very much, Carol, for that overview of IRG and the great work that you're doing. Many of you might not know that Carol's been involved in the project from the very beginning, and is very commendable, the work that you're doing in the state of Ohio and around the country. My name is Rogelio Cáceres. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at LCR Capital Partners. I'm responsible for our global capital raising efforts in markets often overlooked by other regional centers in the past. I'm based in our Miami office, although today I'm here at home with my 3 little girls ensconced in our master bedroom. Hopefully they won't come out this morning and interrupt our discussions today. This is our 4th webinar on this project, 2 more to go in June. So if you like what you hear, certainly please approach us when you're ready to do so. Regarding the project, we recognize this is a once-in-a-lifetime investment decision, a very important one that can afford mistakes of any kind if you can avoid them. And so our role has been to look at hundreds of projects around the country and always select the ones that we feel are best equipped to deliver on our investors' needs. That starts with the obtaining of a green card. And this project in particular meets all of these requirements and then some. And so whether it's a pre-approval on the project, whether it's a developer that has significant experience utilizing EB5 capital, and whether it's under construction, which it is, our project here at the Hall of Fame meets those requirements and should give all investors a great sense of confidence in that. Next slide, please. So a quick note, we won't get into any detailed offering discussions today. If you're an accredited investor, we'd love to speak with you. We have teams around the world, in India, in Brazil, Dubai, and in Singapore, as well as here in Miami, to discuss the project. And we'll look forward to hearing from you to get into the detailed, granular level aspects of the project. But for now, let's talk about 6 reasons why this is a project that really should capture your attention and interest. First reason is the approvals. Vince Lombardi said it's all about the fundamentals. And in this case, this one starts this project with an exemplar approval that was obtained back in 2017, and over 100 investors with green card approvals, many of them already living here in the United States. That eliminates the risk of any investor, the last 56 to go in the project, from being denied, as long as they, of course, meet their EB5 requirements. So from an approval perspective and a time of adjudication perspective, very safe and secure. The second reason why we believe this is a strong project is it's in a TEA. No longer are project locations decided by the local state governments. They're now decided at the USCIS. We've commissioned multiple studies, including one as recently as March of this year, that confirmed that this project is in a TEA and will remain so for the balance of this year and very likely into next year, allowing all investors that invest to have the certainty that their investment is protected at the minimum $900,000 level. The third reason why you should select this project or consider it very strongly is the job creation. Job creation started in 2016. Over 4,000 jobs have been created, not according to us, but according to an independent macroeconomic study that uses the same analysis that the government uses when deciding jobs. Over 4,000 jobs equates to already nearly 16 jobs already created. So your risk from a approvability perspective, both on the conditional side and the permanent side, have been eliminated. Again, a great comfort for anyone making this very important once in a lifetime decision. Number 4, tremendous partners, not just the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, not just Pro Football Hall of Famers like Anthony Munoz, but the National Football League, the most American of leagues, the most revered of sports leagues in this country, and the most profitable from a revenue perspective anywhere in the world, scheduled to hit $25 billion of annual revenue in the next couple years. Having them as an equity partner in the project, having them fully supportive of it, gives us and our investors tremendous confidence that this is a project that not only will be completed, but will be relished and cherished, just like Disneyland is, just like other national epic monuments are. We believe the Hall of Fame Village is on that track and is already proven to be a real master of design. Number 5, IRG. We've seen a lot of project guys since we entered the industry in 2014. And to our knowledge, there are no other real estate developers that have been involved in EB5 utilizing it as a financing source for as long as Industrial Realty Group has. Back in 2008, they saw the opportunity to enter into the industry, utilize the capital. They've done so successfully, completed every project to date, returned all the capital that they have been able to return now, over $240 million. So a developer like that, especially in these economic times, is one that we take great confidence in, will finish the task and continue to operate at the excellent standards that they have to date. So a great pleasure to be working with IRG, our partner here. Those are, in a summary, the reasons why the Hall of Fame Village meets the critical expectations that investors have in this day and age. It's about de-risking the investment strategy. It's about ensuring a green card and ensuring that you're a partner with reputable partners that are such as Industrial Realty Group, which again is very well-renowned in our industry. With that, we are running up to our hours, but we do have some Q&A scheduled for the session today. Again, if there's any interest in evaluating this further, please contact us. We'll immediately have a nice conversation and assess your qualifications and be able to share investment documents, business plans, econometric reports, and soon invite you to come on site and visit us here in Canton over the next several months. But let's start with some questions. John, if you're with us, it'd be great for you to kind of share the first question that comes up.
Sure thing. Thanks, Rogelio. Mike, this one is for you. It's the obvious question you've touched on a few times, but people have asked, how has COVID-19 affected the expected timeline in the construction of the project? And what other potential impacts do you foresee because of the pandemic?
I think like any other business, this caught everyone, and it certainly impacted us in terms of construction timing, not by much. I think we have moved the construction timeline by 2 to 3 months out. We think that we had done a lot of work on design, and that we've had the contractor in bidding the work. And so from a construction point of view, we're prepared to come out of this pandemic quickly. We believe that we can have the public offering completed, as I said, by end of June to middle of July. And look, I think it's out of all of this, the encouraging part of this is out of bad sometimes can come good. It has given us a chance to relook at some of the partnerships that we have in place and strengthen those. We have brought on the NFL Alumni Association. And so while you can never predict the future, the one thing I can say is this has reaffirmed for me the popularity of professional sports and the gaping hole that it's sort of left in people's lives. People are really anxious to get back and, believe it or not, get to a live sporting event or into a restaurant. And we're seeing signs of that as Ohio starts to open up and other parts of the country start to open up with the right precautions. And certainly we have and continue to put in place all the precautions necessary. So I'm encouraged that we have the right product with the right branding, and the intellectual property will be very strong, and we'll have the ability to create the destination without a significant impact on timing.
Mike, another one, just could you clarify the relationship with the NFL?
Yeah, so the NFL has committed to be an investor in the Hall of Fame Village. That's well publicized to date. They serve on our board for the Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They bring considerable amount of event programming to us today, things like NFL academies and referee conferences, but also kick off the NFL season with us. And so we have a great partnership with the NFL. They will become a shareholder of the Village. And, with the support of the NFL Alumni Association, the support of the local environment here, the city, the state, and the backing that these different constituent groups give us, I really take great confidence that this is a company that all of those groups want to be and must see successful. And so they give us a lot of support on many different fronts, from the direct financial to the indirect programming that they bring to us in terms of the NFL.
Carol, actually, someone asked about state and local government support. I believe you're working with the various development groups from Ohio and beyond.
Yes, we are. So projects of this size obviously do not happen without public-private partnership. And we are blessed to have a great support network here on the public side, from the city all the way up to the state level. They have been supportive of this project since day one, including helping us to write legislation as we need it to get a tourism district put in place here, so we can add more to our capital stack that way through a self-taxing that helps promote and foster tourism, through TIF, tax increment financing that helps us on that side of it, as well as other funding sources that are out there, including now PACE, which is an energy efficiency opportunity for us to gain some money. So they continue to, at the local level, to support this, from helping us to make sure permitting goes fine and that we do not have any delays from that aspect. So we couldn't be more excited to be working here with the city of Canton, the Stark County Port, and the state of Ohio. Mike, I don't know if you want to add anything to that from some of the conversations you've had at the state level.
Well, the only thing I would add is that, you know, we have state senator and House of Representatives that are on the phone with me or meeting with me on a regular basis, asking how they can support beyond financial contribution and into legislation, and how the legislation can support a destination like this to make it as not only as profitable as it can be, but as compelling as it can be as well. And so some of those growth verticals I spoke about, the sports betting and e-gaming and things of that nature, some of the regulations in Ohio don't necessarily align today, but we're working closely with those individuals at a state and local level, and they've been very cooperative in helping us, as Carol referenced, establishing this as an opportunity zone, a tourism development district, everything that they can possibly do. I think it shows their commitment to helping create a wonderful destination around great brands here in Canton, Ohio.
Great. I think that's it for the questions. Ro, if you want to talk a little bit about next steps.
Fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for joining. We have 2 additional webinars planned for the month of June. Same day of the week, Wednesdays, same time, on June 10th and then on June 24th. Further from there are 2 incredible events scheduled on August, the annual Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony and the once in a lifetime centennial celebration in mid-September, both of which will occur in Canton. So we're eager to engage with folks, whether you're an immigration attorney or one of our esteemed channel partners or even more esteemed prospective investors. Please contact us. Let's dig into the details and discuss this great opportunity further, and look forward to hosting you again here as a client of ours at the Hall of Fame here in the coming months. So thanks everyone for your time, and we'll be in touch here shortly. Let us know if you'd like to chat here in the coming days. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks all.
Thank you.